Hi, boys and girls. Hopefully you have your farmhouse glued down, and hopefully you have had a chance to color and cut out your barn and glue it down as well. As you know, the barn needs 6 squares of land, 6 to 10. It's really your choice. I like to save up the land squares for the animals. And remember that your barn can be put in any direction you choose. So maybe I want it to be facing my house and have all the animals here in front of my barn and my house. So, but just think about your layout and where you might want it. You might want your barn close to your road. That's a possibility as well. My road's way down here at the end. It's not showing the video. But just like the house, make sure you put glue on the 4 tabs. Hold in the 2 side flaps and then just hold it down for a minute, for a few seconds. So now that we have our barn and house on, it's time to purchase animals for our farm. So you'll have 6 animals to choose from. You can buy all of the animals, or you can just pick and choose which ones you want to buy. Let's talk about what animals will be for sale. We can buy goats for our farm. We could buy sheep, cows, pigs, chickens, and horses. I hope that I provided enough animals. You have the opportunity. The first animal are goats. So there are 3 in your farm pack. Each goat needs 2 squares of land. So if you buy all 3 of the goats, let's talk about this for a minute. You'll need 2 squares of land for each goat. The goats are $8 each. And each goat needs 2 land squares. So it'll be 10, 20 plus the 8. 20 plus 8 is 28. It's $28 per goat. So think about how many you might want to buy. For my project today, I think I'm just going to buy 1. So I've already colored and cut it out. Just like the house and barn, it has the tabs on the bottom to glue it up so it's 3-dimensional. And so I'm just going to need 2 land squares today. Put the rest away for now. You can save them for another project later on. Or maybe your brother or sister wants to do a farm and you can give them some goats, or you can sell them the goats. Okay, so boys and girls, before I put this goat on my farm, I'm going to read a little bit about goats. And there's some things that we need to find out about goats. We need to find out why they are raised. Why do farmers buy goats? What are we going to feed them? What do farmers feed them? Once we've bought our goats, what do we need to feed them? These are important things to know before you buy animals. What foods do we get from goats? And also, what special characteristics or features do they have? So to find out all of this information, go ahead and turn to the goat poem. It should be the second poem in your poem book, and let's read it together. I'm using a highlighter to highlight the most important information, just like we did for the penguin unit, if you're in my class. But so we are going to highlight why they're raised, what they eat, what foods we get from them, and what special characteristics they have. So go ahead and follow along with me. And if you think you hear something, highlight it. Here we go. It says, all over the world, people raise goats, most for their milk and some for their coats. So that right there is already telling me a few reasons why they are raised. They're raised for their milk. I'm just going to highlight milk. They're also raised for their coats. Let's go to the second stanza. You can see the stanzas or the poem separated into stanzas. You might be able to see them here. Just like with the penguin poems, we numbered them to kind of help us. It's hard to write backwards. There we go. So let's go to the second stanza. It says, they raise them for their hides. They raise them for meat. They raise them to show. They provide lots to eat. So here it says a few more reasons why they are raised: for their hides, for their meat, and sometimes just for show. I know a lot of you are involved in 4-H, or some of you might be involved or have older siblings who are involved in 4-H. So some of you show goats for prizes and awards. So that's very fun. Third stanza, goats eat lots of grass or alfalfa hay. Ding, 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 I'm finding important information. They need to drink water. They need it every day. This stanza tells us what they eat. They're going to eat lots of grass, and they're also going to eat alfalfa hay. So I'm going to highlight those 2 things. Goats have special stomachs. After they swallow their food, they can store it till later and chew the cud. Good. So here's a special characteristic. They have special stomachs and they can chew their cud. So I'm going to highlight that information. We're on stanza 5 now, and it says, they have cloven hooves. They are divided in two, and beards under their chin. At least some of them do. I'm just going to highlight cloven hooves here. You can, if you want, you can highlight beards right here, if you'd like. We're on stanza 6. It says, a doe can make milk 3 to 6 quarts a day. For 2 to 10 months per year, she earns her way. So the female goats are called does. And once again, 3 to 6 quarts of milk. I can see why farmers might want to buy goats for their farm. Some have long floppy ears, other ears stand up with pride. Some have hardly any ears, they look like bumps on each side. Kind of talking about the special features or characteristics of goats, but I'm not gonna highlight anything there. And we're gonna go to the last stanza. It says, goat's milk is quite healthy, and so is the meat. Their milk can be drunk or made into cheeses to eat. So right here, I'm gonna highlight meat. I'm gonna highlight milk again, and I'm gonna highlight cheeses. They make the goat's milk make delicious cheeses. So going back to our graphic organizer here, we can fill in the information. Why are they raised? Well, they are raised for their hides. They're raised for milk, and they're raised for meat. So I'm just gonna write hides, milk, and meat. It says, what do they eat? Well, it said here in the 3rd stanza that they eat grass and alfalfa hay. So I'm gonna write those two things. Grass and alfalfa hay. What foods do people get from them? Well, we've already talked about a few over here. We talked about milk and meat. So I'm gonna write milk and meat again, but I'm also gonna add cheese. And then it says, what special characteristics do they have? Well, it talked about their stomachs. It talked about, in the poem, it talked about their cloven hooves. It talked about their beards, and it also talked about their ears. So you can choose what you want to write there. I'm going to just say that they have special stomachs. I'm also going to write that they have cloven hooves. Makes them very good climbers. They can hang on rocky surfaces because they have those cloven hooves, which just means it has 2 parts. You've probably seen a hoof like this before, that it's broken up into 2 parts. So now that we have all of our information about goats, you can purchase your goats. They are $8 each, like I said. I'm just gonna buy one of them today. I'm saving my money for bigger things. I don't know what yet. I think I want to buy a couple horses, so I need to make sure I have enough money at the end for horses. And I definitely want some chickens and a chicken coop. So I'm just going to buy one. I'm going to take 3 ones here. Here's a 5. So I'll have 5, 6, 7, $8. 1 $5 bill and 3 ones. And then here I need 2, each goat needs 2 squares of land. And of course, as I mentioned before, I did not include any fencing in this unit, but if you want to create your own, you can. And maybe you don't have, if you make your own, then you don't have to pay for it. So I would just leave that blank. Go ahead and glue your money down, and after you've done that, you can check it with an adult or a sibling, and you can glue your goat down to your farm once you've paid for it. So here, I might think about putting my goat right here in front of the house, and maybe I just want it to eat the grass so I don't have to mow. So I'm just gonna put it right out front here. And once again, if they're not fitting on the grid perfectly, that's okay. Just do the best you can. If you have to trim them a little bit, that's okay, or overlap them. And just like the house in the barn, we gotta make sure we cut those little slits at the bottom, add our glue, and hold it in place for a few seconds. And there you have it. My goat has been purchased and placed on my farm. There you have it. If you would like to continue on in this fashion, you can. Before you purchase each animal, I would like for you to read the poem that goes with the animal and fill out the graphic organizer. Okay, and then after that, you can turn to the appropriate payment sheet. And let's just talk about for a second, sheep are $7, and they also need 2 squares of land. It'll say right here at the top. Cows are $10 each, and they need 4 land squares. So it's going to be $50 per cow. Four 10s, 10, 20, 30, 40 for the 4 land squares, and then 1 for the cow itself. So $50 per cow. Pigs are $9 each, and they need 2 land squares. I got a little pig ready to go right here. Isn't that cute? Definitely gonna buy a couple pigs for my farm. Then here we have chicken payment sheet. Here you can actually buy with 3 squares of land, and you get a coop, 3 squares of land, and 6 chickens for that one. We'll talk a little bit more about that when the time comes. Or you can just buy them for $2 each. But if you buy a coop, it does come with 6 chickens. And then finally, horses are $11 each, and they need 4 land squares. And there you have it. If you want to work ahead, you can, or do maybe 1 animal a day. It's up to you. And I'll pop on here in a little while, send another video, and see how you're doing. For now, you should have a barn, a farmhouse, and a little goat, or 2 or 3. Not sure how many goats you wanted to buy. Maybe you love goats. They are pretty cute, and sounds like we can get a lot of food from them. Anyway, enjoy, have fun, have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.